But Rachel Reeves as well. I think today it came out that private sector spending or output has contracted massively, and her borrowing costs have soared. So could you like outline some sort of growth plan? Could you give Rachel Reeves some advice?
Well, my own view was this. First of all, she inherited a very, very difficult situation, which goes back, I think, 40, 50 years. Some people could say even 150 years. I don't want to go into that economic history. My answers tend to be long enough anyway, I know. So let's forget all that. Given her inheritance, I think they clearly needed to raise taxes, and they should never have ruled out the broad-based tax increases. So income taxes, including property income taxes, property taxes, needed to be rethought. National insurance is, of course, an income tax, and it's a very bad tax. So they should never have ruled all that out before they got into power. Because they did that, they ended up making the principal source of additional revenue employers' national insurance contributions, which is a tax imposed on employers for their workers, you see. And of course, it's a way of making employment more expensive. Well, if you make employment much more expensive, they're going to employ fewer people. And since it falls on capital, it's abuse of the income accruing to capital. They've got less to invest. So they're going to invest less. And that's exactly what's happened. So I think that was a terrible policy decision. It was a result of the decision to rule out almost everything else. And then, because the economy is growing so slowly, partly because of this and partly because of all the shocks we were experiencing, including the trust shock and all the rest of it, we have very, very high interest rates now. And that, of course, affects the cost of borrowing dramatically. So she got herself into a terrible problem. The big problem is she's got tremendous fiscal pressures in a very slow-growing economy. To deal with the fiscal pressures, she must either cut spending or raise taxes, both of which will cause huge economic and political problems. And she has, in addition, to generate growth. A strategy that will deal with all this is actually very, very hard to find. I think many of the things they're trying to do are in the right direction, planning reform and all the rest of it, promoting innovation, and we can go through some of the details, but I think they really have simply got themselves into a very big issue. It would help if we hadn't left the EU. I think that would have helped. Obviously, the Trump tariffs are going to make all this worse. So they've made serious mistakes, absolutely. But I think it's fraudulent to say there's some simple solution because, in my view, there isn't.